Hello, welcome back to another episode of Outside of the Box. My name is Courtland Dixon. I go by my middle name Courtland, and this is my show where we introduce outside of the box thinking to everyday life.
Ask yourself, what you thinking about? Yeah, we can't expand that, and ain't no need to doubt, cause we ain't getting that time back. Yeah, we moving forward, got the future on locked up, when we thinking on the outside of the box. Yeah. What you thinking about? Yeah, we can't expand that, and ain't no need to doubt, cause we ain't getting that time back. Yeah, we moving forward, got the future on the outside of the box.
It's good to be back. It's good to be back. I'm glad to be back here. I am glad to be back doing what I enjoy doing. So before we get into it, like the video, subscribe, leave me a comment on what you think. I want to hear what everybody is thinking. So I'm glad to be doing what I love to do, not just here, but in everywhere, every part of my life, different parts of my life. That's where I am right now. I just want to do what I love to do. I feel like these past couple of weeks, couple of months, I've been doing things for everybody else. I've been doing what I thought that they wanted me to do. I've been doing things that I thought would make me successful, trying to do things the right way, which is cool in certain circumstances, but I wasn't being true to myself where I needed to be true to myself. And the passion for a lot of things was being lost because I was getting away from why I started doing them. I think you can't be great at doing something if you hate doing it, because you're gonna get burnt out. You know, there has to be a passion in what you're doing. There has to be that reason that you do it. And so I'm getting back to being passionate about what I want to do, and I'm very excited about it. For example, acting. I love acting, and I love collaboration, and so I'm building things. I'm starting things where I get to do what I love with other people. You know, I'm trying to get that started, and so I'm very excited about that. Put the passion back into your work. Find what you're passionate about. Find what you love to do. Get specific about it and do it, because that's what it's all about. Do what works for you. Discipline. I'm working on strengthening my discipline up. You know, getting the things done that I need to get done. You know, in this part of my life, I've been getting a lot more responsibility with my age growing. With my big age, as they like to say, I've been getting more responsibility with, like I was just talking about, trying to start these other things up, and it takes discipline. And discipline is funny, and it's a bit hard, because discipline is you checking you, and it takes discipline to build discipline. And so you have to challenge yourself. You have to challenge yourself, and I'm starting small. You know, I forget to text people back, and so I'm making sure that I'm hitting people back on the right times for whatever reason. If I forget, I get on it. And so when I get a text, I text people back. When I get an email, I'm taking care of that business. If I got something that I do, you know, write the task down, get it done. Discipline. So I talk a lot about taking things a day at a time, and I feel like I do a pretty good job at taking heed of my own advice, but a lot of time, or sometimes, I'll get stuck in my old ways, and I'll get really into my head. I get into my head a lot, but I'm learning still to take things a day at a time, to give myself grace. When you're dealing with things, when you're going through situations, dealing with whatever it may be, if you're afraid or worried about what might happen, worried about the future, dealing with fear, whatever it may be, you can get very in your head, and I think it's very important that we give ourselves grace and that we take things one step, one day at a time. Some days you're gonna have the fire, you're gonna have the courage and the strength to be able to fight these battles and to be able to win them, and there are gonna be some days when you're just tired. And when not only do you feel like you can't win, but you don't want to try. Like you don't want to win that day. You just want to relax. And I'm learning to give myself grace in those periods, because I am not Superman. As much as I might hold myself to that standard, you know, if I make one little mistake, then I'm on me, you know. But I'm only human, and I can't do everything right every day. And so don't hold yourself to the standard of doing everything right every day. Give yourself grace. I'm somebody who, as the youngest in my family and as someone who has had high expectations for myself since from a very young age, I feel a need to prove myself. And so, you know, people compliment me all the time on things that I'm doing, you know, and I feel like sometimes, hey, I was 18 years old doing this, I need to be doing this by 20. And it puts a heavy weight on me, you know, and it gives me it challenges me, quote unquote at least, to have to prove myself. But one thing I'm learning is that I don't have to prove myself to anybody. I am me. Because if you live to prove yourself to somebody, then you're living for somebody else. And if you're living for somebody else, that's not any way to live. You gotta live to be the best version of yourself, not be the best version of somebody else. You know, live to be the best version of yourself. And so, like I was saying, give yourself grace, take things a day at a time, and build whatever you're building brick by brick. You know, a house isn't built, great buildings aren't built in one day, they're built brick by brick. So thank you for tuning in to this episode of Outside the Box. I'm glad to be doing this again, doing what I love to do. If you enjoyed what you heard, if you liked it, don't be afraid to like it. Share it with someone else who you think will also enjoy it. Leave your thoughts down in the comments below. I want to be able to talk to different people and get different perspectives on this thing. That's what it's all about. That's another episode. Peace, love, have a great day. Be great.
Ask yourself, what you thinking about? Yeah, we can't expand that, and ain't no need to doubt, cause we ain't getting that time back. Yeah, we moving forward, got the future on locked up, when we thinking on the outside of the box. Yeah. What you thinking about? Yeah, we can't expand that, and ain't no need to doubt, cause we ain't getting that time back. Yeah, we moving forward, got the future on the outside of the box.